What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to give you a good breakdown of what the data points are saying and potentially where things might be going from here. Before I do, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So currently down 2.65% at a low of $7.23. And this sell-off is largely because of economic fears. Nothing to do with Lucid in specific, but as you can see, there was PPI and also retail sales that did come out. Retail sales is a big one because it did come in lower than anticipated. And of course, as I've said in the past, the consumers have been the pillars of the economy. There's a lot of institutions shouting recession all the time, but it's the consumers that have been really holding and propping up the economy. So this is one of the first of many cracks that is kind of coming through right now. So especially if you do piggyback that with what is happening with the US banks, even though it's getting a temporary patch, still bigger picture, there is a problem afoot, especially as well what is happening with Credit Suisse. But unfortunately, they are not getting the backing that the US banks are getting. So in general, I think there might be some more fear in the foreseeable future. But like I said, when it comes down to Lucid, it could be trading at $1, $100. It doesn't necessarily make a difference. It doesn't change the operation of what is happening behind the scenes. It only makes a difference in regards to dilution. So if Lucid does need any money, and for instance, if the stock price is at $10 versus $1, well, then that is where kind of the amount that they get is going to really be impacted. But outside of that, operational wise, nothing changes. So I just wanted to put that into perspective, but I'll give you a quick summary as far as what everything else is happening. So currently, as you can see, shorts are increasing 1.4 million shares, which works out to be a total of 131.61 million shares being shorted. 12.88% is the cost to borrow, and that is the average. And roughly around 20.5% is the free float, which is a percentage being shorted. So I think in general, they're taking advantage of the fear and really doing it first thing in the morning, as you can tell based on this chart right here, the teal line. So of course, there is always short circling Lucid like vultures. And I'll give you a good breakdown of what the data points are saying. So as you can see, it is a little bit more mixed, but a lot more puts are being purchased, insinuating it might potentially go down. So as you can tell, there's $291,000 worth of call premiums being done versus puts, 3.29 million. So a lot more puts are being purchased, insinuating that the price might potentially continue to go down. But of course, I think this is very much just linked to the economic data and also the banking, what is happening with them. So of course, on a side note, options activity does not dictate and move the price. This is just a little bit more of a sentiment. And when it comes down to it, as you can see, these are all the dark pool transactions, so a little bit lower in that regard today. And if you look at the secondary market, similar kind of fashion, just goes to show that big money is taking a step back and not necessarily buying as much as they were in the previous couple of weeks. Mostly, like I said, because of the whole situation, they're trying to see how all of this does develop. But there was one good transaction today, a good buy, 1.34 million. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that. But outside of that though, there's been a lot of good articles coming out about the touring. And I think in general, that might be the next big thing that they're trying to focus on, not the AGT, but the air touring right here. So I think at the end of the day, that might be a positive thing potentially, but I think it's kind of weird that there was two different things published about the touring, the air touring at the same time. So I don't know if this is potentially being paid or sponsored or advertised by Lucid by some means, but it says the 2023 Lucid Air Touring might be the most compelling luxury EV today. And then when it comes down to this, conveniently as well, just another air touring drive thing, but posted on the same day. So I don't know what is happening in that regard, but no matter what, it seems to be fairly optimistic about the touring. So let me know your thoughts on that. Like I said, I think they might be doing that just to bump up the overall sales for the air touring. Clearly, that might be a big signal that maybe it's not as positive as what they would have anticipated. But still, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence at the end of the day. Like I said, based on the price point, I think right now they might be experiencing some issues with the touring. No matter what though, it is going to be the pure. The pure is where it is at. And as you can tell, these are all the prices in Canadian on a side note. So in general, I think this is also a problem as well. So I think the currency conversion that they use is completely off whack in general, but whatever, that's on a separate topic. But still, in general, I think it is the pure that is going to drive 100% of the demand for 2023. So I think in general, a lot of these articles that is being done about the air touring might be in fact, like I said, just paid, but of course, can't really tell at this stage. So let me know your thoughts on all that in the comments below. But no matter what, when it comes down to Lucid, I think it's the PIF. That's where a lot of people care about. And of course, the PIF will always guarantee Lucid's success one way or another, whether it be in 2023 or 2025, 26. You guys get what I'm saying. Obviously, sometime or another, Lucid is going to succeed, and largely because of the PIF. So as you can tell right now, I believe it is from the 14th to the 15th, the PIF is having their sector forum. And it looks like yesterday is when Lucid and also 𝗖𝗧 were going to be the hot topics. And luckily enough, the individual 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧, who I'm a very, very big fan of, on a side note, he had a brief little interview around 50 seconds on which he does say that Saudi Arabia is going to be producing vehicles in September-ish. So I think that's even sooner than what was anticipated. So I think in general, that is going to be very, very positive, and hopefully will help to get over that 14,000. So right now it's only 10 to 14,000 for their overall 2023 targets. So hopefully that'll be able to push it a little bit higher, because in general, I think they have to beat that. If they ever somehow miss that, then unfortunately that might be very, very bad. But again, I'm just going to quickly play this for you guys because I do find this him speaking on any topic is just absolutely amazing. I would absolutely love him to be CEO, but that, like I said, is on another topic. So like I said, I'll just quickly play this for you guys, and you guys can let me know you guys' thoughts on that in the comments below.
Said if you take a flight to Jeddah and drive to King Abdullah Economic City, where our plant is going to be located, you will see that we already have a SKD building up. Pretty soon we're going to start putting equipment in that, and then by September of this year we're going to have the first Saudi assembled car rolling off. So in a matter of months we're going to have a first Saudi assembled car rolling off of that building. A few lucky customers have already got the cars. A few of them were here. A few of His Excellencies and His Royal Highnesses were driving those. We have a large batch of vehicle coming in May, June, July of this year, and you will see a lot more Lucids in people's hands at that time.
So like I said, he's very well spoken, and I think in general that gives a lot of optimism. So keep in mind, I think they said in Q2 that most likely is when a lot of the international deliveries are going to kick off. So hopefully you'll see a lot more of the PIF in Saudi Arabia involving Lucid and their Lucids from that point onwards, in addition to Europe as well. So let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. But like I said, I'll give you a good breakdown of potentially where I see things going. So as of right now on the technicals, we are below a lot of the pivotal moving averages, but I think a lot of stocks are as of right now. But based on the fib levels currently, it is between the S2 and the S1, which of course I think a lot of as well growth stocks are within that range. So as long as they can hold that 704, I think in general it should be fairly well, as long as it can hold it this week, of course. But in reality, outside of that, I don't see any catalyst coming that could potentially cause it to go higher, unless there's some news or some announcement, because of course there is still some opportunity for some stuff to come out from the PIF's aspect for Lucid and what they might be potentially doing. But in general, like I said, I think it's just the 704 is that point to really watch for, to really hold. Outside of that though, looking as far as the momentum and stochastic, number of retail investors are getting in today. So like I said, it goes to show that retail is really appreciating this discounted price in Lucid, and stochastic is currently at 10, very much oversold. No defined trend right now though. So potentially, like I said, if it sells off enough, you'll get a nice good rush of value investors getting into Lucid, and that in among itself might really prompt kind of a little bit more of additional momentum behind the scenes to cause it to go higher. But of course though, as I always say, these videos are for entertainment purposes only, so make sure you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But as well, I always monitor this for SEC filings because they also do have, for instance, the definitive 14A that came out a couple days back. That is for their upcoming shareholder meeting. I've already done a couple of videos on that, and I'm going to be live streaming that as well. So I believe it's April 24th, if I remember correctly. So that's a point to watch for in the future, but I don't think really any big catalyst or anything is going to come from that or as a result of that. But still, I could be very much wrong. On a side note, if you do want a 7-day free trial for 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗧𝗧, has a lot of good content such as here, all compiled in one area. Take a look at my description below, or also I'll put it into the comments. Make sure you guys take advantage of that. And one final thing, even though Lucid is selling off a little bit, just want to give you a good promo with moomoo. So all you have to do by signing up for a free account, you get 1 free stock. And this promo is only up until March the 31st. So make sure you guys take advantage of this. Each stock could be valued up to $2,000. So in reality, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you want to throw $100 at the account as well, you do get additional 4 free stocks, each valued up to $2,000. And because of the whole chat AI kind of movement, you do get an additional 2 free stocks, so AI and also BBAI. So in total, for $100, you get 7 free stocks, and that's crazy. So make sure you guys do take advantage of this as well. Link is in the description below and also the comments. But let me know your thoughts. Where do you see Lucid going, at least in the foreseeable future? At what price would you buy more as well? I'm kind of curious to see and hear you guys' thoughts on that. So let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.